Good afternoon. Today I'm going to be discussing the smartphone wars 2013. It was one of the most competitive and fast changing markets in the world. We will examine the strategies, strengths, weaknesses, and future outlook of major companies such as Apple, Samsung, Google, Nokia, and BlackBerry. On the agenda, we have a present or for our presentation overview, we have industry overview, key competitors, competitive strategies, declining firms, strategic analysis, and a lessons and future outlook. Um, I'll say this presentation will cover the smartphone industry from top to bottom, from major players and their strategies, and what we can learn from this competitive market. Um, in the overview, it's the global smartphone market. It's rapid growth worldwide. Smartphones replacing feature phones. Um, Increased demand for apps and internet, and a highly competitive environment. By 2013, smartphones had become essential devices in everyday homes and businesses, um, driving massive global demand and intense competition. Sorry. Um, we get into market share. What is a market share? A company's sales as a percentage of total industry or sector sales. Um, Samsung led in shipments around the world. Apple leads in profitability. Android dominated the OS market share. And the market has expanded globally and at a substantial rate, especially over the years and especially since 2013. The key competitors, like I said earlier, include Apple, Samsung, Google, which makes Android, Nokia, and BlackBerry. The Apple strategy was a differentiation strategy. It was premium pricing with a strong brand loyalty. They had an integrated ecosystem and focused on innovation. They had high-end products and customer loyalty, prioritizing their profit over market share. The Samsung advantage was cost leadership as well as differentiation. They had a wide product range with rapid launches and a strong global reach with heavy marketing involved. They competed aggressively through scale and variety, offering products in all price ranges. Android's advantage, obviously, they are funded by Google. They're an open source platform with many manufacturers using Androids. They have a large app ecosystem with network effects. They've allowed multiple firms to compete, increasing innovation and expanding the overall market. On the decline, though, we have Nokia. They were late to the touchscreen trend. They had a weak software ecosystem, outdated operating systems, and delayed shift in their strategies. They failed to adapt quickly enough, losing their dominant position in mobile phones, especially because they had one of the most durable phones, maybe ever. Another decline is of BlackBerry. They lost their competitive edge. They were focused mainly on business users, weak consumer features. They had poor app ecosystem and missed the innovation trends. Their failure to appeal to the everyday consumer caused their rapid decline, especially considering that they were a frontline when mobile devices, especially phones, became popular. Talking about Porter's five forces um, over the industry analysis. The competitive rivalry is extremely high. It might be one of the strongest rivalries in any market. The buyer power is also extremely high. Almost everyone has a phone, and you use it every day, if not for hours every day. It's almost the most important aspects of people's lives. The supplier power is moderate. There's a few countries that dominate making phones. Um, the threat of new entrants is also moderate. between Apple, Android, and Samsung, they kind of have a grasp on the market, so it leaves little room for new competitors to enter. And the threat of substitution is also moderate. Um, there's not a lot of opportunity, but it's still relative to how new entrances can be made and also substituting phones for others. Um, the key success, what drives these companies is innovation, strong ecosystems, brand recognition, efficient supply chains, and competitive pricing. Success is required more than just good hardware. It required a complete strategy from every company. I have a SWOT of Apple. Their strengths were obviously brand name, loyalty, and profits. Their weaknesses were they were on the higher end, so high prices caused other consumers to go to other companies that offered lower prices. Opportunities, obviously, emerging markets, they're always on the top of innovation. And obviously, their threats are Samsung, but mainly their Android competition, just because Android has such a large market being funded by Google. They're able to pump out the same kind of high-end technology that Apple and iPhone produces. I did another SWOT of Samsung. Their strength involves scale and variety. They have a wide range of products involving many different prices that can benefit users who are on a cheaper budget. Their weaknesses are they have a lower brand loyalty. They're kind of like the little brother to the other companies, but because of their pricing, people still value Samsung as a phone. They also are starting to branch more into the global expansion. At first, they were stuck in one area mainly, but they have, over the past decade especially, they have pushed out into a wider market. Their threats are price competition. Every year, phones get more affordable, especially with new features. So the prices that Samsung offers for their features need to be increased or need to be improved per se, so that they can still keep the advantage of pricing. Obviously, strategies and key takeaways. The companies that were successful adapted quickly to change. They were able to build ecosystems, not just have products. Continuous innovation is critical, as we have seen by the decline of Nokia and BlackBerry, and timing is crucial. Every year, people want to adapt. The more features and adaptations that a phone can have, so that people can do more with those phones, improves the overall consumer rate that these companies would experience. And they have to stay flexible and innovative to survive in especially such a fast-moving industry. Future outlook, especially with phones and the trends that have been happening, the cameras keep improving. We're looking at faster processors in each phone. Each phone gets more powerful as the years go by. Growth in wearables, as we've seen over the past few years, watches have become a large accessory that can be connected to your phone, and recently we have seen glasses that are starting to have the phone features built into them, so that you don't have to pull out your phone, so that you can still use those features. And obviously, larger markets, more global expansion into those different markets throughout the world. And that would conclude my analysis of the Case 11A smartphone wars in 2013. Thank you.